Hello, everyone. My name is Wojciech Gattner. I'm a head of game economy and monetization at 10 Square Games. I've been working in the company for the last 4 years, and I've been holding this position for the last 2.5 years, basically since we soft launched the Fishing Clash, our top grossing title. So today topic will be about game as a service. Game as a service is a very popular concept. It's a kind of buzzword recently. It basically bases on the thing that the revenue stream is constant, is growing, and if we do this in the proper way, if we implement the game in the proper way, we not only will have the revenue during the first period, but we will also have the revenue stream that is growing in the next couple of months, years, or even decades. Yes, if you think about games titles like Clash of Clans, for example, it's a perfect example. It's a game that is, last month it hit their best month in the grossing in the revenue metrics. So how to do that and how we are trying to do it in Fishing Clash, I will explain in the later stage. Basically, the traditional model, if we can see on this chart, it's a very simple chart, but we can see that in the traditional model, once the game is launched, it basically earns most of the money. I would say 80% of the money, and then after some period, it sales on some I don't know, Steam promotions, or it generates a little less revenue, and basically game gets older. When the game gets older, the users are switching to the other games that are still updating, and they are still updating the content, and they are still engaging the players. In this traditional model, let's say, there is an idea. The idea is then put into the production, and in the production cycle, of course, the production cycle is very long. Sometimes, as you could hear on the previous speeches, it can last like even 7-8 years time. Sometimes games are even not released because the owners feel that the game is not prepared, and the first impression is the most important thing. Of course, there is a lot of beta testing. There is also a lot of also other things, but there are things like that are very hard for the developers. Like you don't know how to measure your marketing before you market the game. You cannot improve on that. As I said before, the first impression is very important, and it's a pretty hard business model. Once you release the game, of course, you can update it lately, but most of the money you earn the first days. Oops, something is not working. Sorry for that. Okay. In game as a service model, that perfectly fits free-to-play market. There's also an idea. There's also production, but the production cycle is much faster because what happens? You can basically release not perfect game. Yes. Of course, you are trying to do your best. You try to do it, as polished as possible. But what happens is that you have also this soft launch phase where you can test it on the particular markets. You are doing, the technical test. You are checking the first KPIs of the game. But once you release, then you enter into this reiteration cycle that can last many years. I will explain it later how we do it in the Fishing Clash. But this is a very important chart because it shows that the things that are unknown in a traditional model, in this game as a service model, are also unknown, but you can reiterate it. You don't make the players angry with that because they know that you're working on the product. You are somehow compensating it with the future updates, and the players will like it. The players will get more engaged and will bring more revenue, as I will try to prove in the future slides. Okay, so to sum up, in the perfect GaaS business model, we will have increasing cash flow over the years. We'll have increased engagement. We'll have a growing number of players. The game will be evolving over the time. If you look at some of the titles right now, and if you would think about them, if you think about how did they look when the developer released it, sometimes there are completely two different games. Okay, the graphic style might be the same, the core loop might be the same, but all that those details that matter, like all the small details that were polished over the years are there, and sometimes the game is completely different. Yes, it feels completely different after the year, but still feels fresh for the players, and it's and people and players like it. In this GaaS model, as I said before, the launch of the game is just the beginning. Sometimes people have the misconception that, okay, we did the game right now, okay, let's make the money. We can do some small live ops, but I will try to show that in that stage, you will need more resources, you will usually need more people on board, because the game will be growing, the game will be evolving in the direction that is still unknown from the beginning, and it will require some also agile project management, agile product management. So I would say, many people say that the most important thing in game as a service model is live ops. I agree with that, but also there are other pillars, I would call them, that are really important. One of them is engaging game. You know, you need to create a simple and highly engaging core experience, but also create a deep and scalable meta game, which means that this game can be replayed over many years and create some features, some mechanics that the players will not be able to complete game in few weeks' time. Yeah, you need to have this mechanics to work for years. It will also help the live ops, because the live ops is a very important topic. In Fishing Clash, we put a lot of attention to that. It's, I believe, right now it's our most important department during the game production, because what keeps people engaged. People are coming; they know the game. They're not coming to catch the fish only for their pleasure. They are coming to compete. They are coming to have new contests, to explore new content, and we are the entertainers, and this is something that is very important. The business intelligence, I'll tell more about it, because this is something I specialize in. This is also very important, because one of those key parts in the reiteration process is a circle is measuring the data and knowing how to read the data and knowing how to come to good conclusions after reading some data. It can be also a lot. It can be misleading. So if you have a proper experience, it helps a lot. Marketing also has to adjust to the product changes. It's obvious that the people that, for example, we are acquiring in the beginning of after the launch of the game might be a little bit different. We might be targeting different players after a while. So marketing has also to be agile, has also to be on par with what's going in the product, and of course customer support and community management. Our players are like the most important. They are the best testers. They are our clients. We work for them basically. So we have to listen to them. We have to solve their problems. We have to thank them for their feedback, even if sometimes it's not positive. But we have to acknowledge it, and we have to do something with that. So, as I said, that the production is just the beginning. I will tell a little bit about Fishing Clash. Basically, why the company decided to do this game. We had a very successful title on the web browsers, Let's Fish, which is still in its 8th year of life, and it's right now flourishing. It's even if a lot of people switch to the mobile, Let's Fish is also a perfect example of game as a service model. It had the best quarter, last quarter was the best quarter in financial metrics. And we had a lot of know-how. It was the biggest fishing game. We had a lot of experience with players. Basically, we knew what the players needed, and we wanted to do the game designed perfectly for the mobile devices. We have a great experienced team, which is also a key part to it. The whole company believed in that project. It was a very nice feeling when you could see that every few weeks, few months, there was a big update. It was like the biggest. It was a very big thing in the company because people from the production team, programmers, game designers, product owners, they showed the prototypes. They were showing the progress, the mini game, and everybody in the company was believing in this success, and it was a good atmosphere. There was no competition between other projects. Sometimes it can happen. Here, everybody believed in that, and we had also a lot of experience with the data on Let's Fish. We knew what are the benchmarks and what is the baseline where we should start. We had also experience in marketing. We knew our target perfectly, so it also helped us to start the campaigns quicker. We knew it also helped us to more efficiently spend marketing budgets, and we had some ready tools to explore that data, and I will show you our tools later on. So if we look at those pillars of this of the GaaS model, we have very engaging game and very simple core mechanics. Yes, it's easy to catch the fish. You catch the fish, you can win the duels. You win the duels, you open the packs. It sounds familiar, yes, I guess, but we started it pretty quickly. The system. You can select the lures. So for the new players, the mechanism is pretty simple. But we added to that a very deep and scalable metagame. So we have the lure system where you are collecting the cards, the lures basically, and you can collect them for, if you would be like full free-to-play player, you would have to collect them for years. We have a sophisticated gear system and less sophisticated license system. So the license system is like it's also a system that you can max. You will never max it out. Yes, basically it's a very deep system that helps us keep the old players engaged for longer. And we have power-up system, which is also a very good power-ups. Those are like consumable items, and I believe every game should have them because people will not stock them, and the more you play, the more you use. So it's like pay-as-you-go model. We have live ops, and initially we started with having some events only once a week, but the players wanted more. Yeah, the players wanted, hey, come on, where is my event? We want to compete a little bit more. We have free time. So right now, basically, the events are on daily basis. There are sometimes few events simultaneously. If there are no events, the people will complain. Yes, the events are segmented into different level segments, so there is a fair competition between them. Recently, we released a new feature that we hope it will bring us some. It will improve our KPIs, which is called Revent. So the new players, where they enter the game, they can revive what the old players had when they were progressing, where the old players were on the end game. So it's a kind of revival of old events, the best performing events. Of course, we have daily championships that also improve, and all the events, all the mechanics are boosting each other. So it's also important thing that even if you do a lot of things, you have to somehow show to the player that you won't waste too much time, because you do one thing and influence the other thing. We have a marketing team, and of course in-house marketing, which is also a very important thing because we can control better our budgets and we know where we are spending, and we are using a lot of data to optimize our marketing efforts. We are also using the marketing not only for acquiring the people, but also for retaining the people and re-engaging them. Community support. Right now we are also we are expanding our team. The team is like a small, how do you call it? We have a lot of people working for the support that is supporting only Fishing Clash. It's a dedicated team, and we are expanding on the tools. We are expanding on our knowledge, our know-how, how to communicate with the players better, how to quickly respond to some request, and how to improve our game on their feedback. So right now, let's concentrate on this lower part, this reiteration circle. And since the beginning, we have a very big belief in data, that all the data basically that we gather, we can use it, and once we use it, we'll see the effects in the future, and we strongly believed in that. And our quantitative approach was initiated once the Fishing Clash was soft launched. We can divide the quantitative approach on data analysis, machine learning, A/B testing. So first of all, the most important thing was to develop the toolset. We have licensed tools like Tableau for data visualization. We have the Vertica database, which is a super fast SQL query data storage system, but it's very good to be working with that because it's much faster than traditional databases. We have our in-house developed tools, and this is also our strength. The first tool was created to perform quickly A/B tests. That's why the developer who did it called it Absinthe from A/B. And then when we developed other tools like whiskey, gin, tequila, grappa, they all took names from the alcohol. And we, of course, are using external services like OneSignal, Optivo, AppsFlyer, and others. You need a proper mindset. This is also an important thing because sometimes there is this magic that game developers, game designers don't like data because they think it's my intuition that it's better. And that's true, yes. Especially when you are designing a product, when you're designing this product, this big idea. With small changes, you will not get to the other point. You will be still managing. You'll be still handling in the same spot. But once the designers know how to read the data, once the designers know how to trust the data, it's much better. So this mindset was implemented. Well, all the people believed. All the people believed. They had their own intuition, but they were not. They wanted to have it tested. Yes. So one person will say the green color is better. The other persons will say the blue color is better. Why to waste time? And let's just test it out on the production. So we have the tools that help us do it quickly. And with the data analysis, we are measuring different KPIs. One of the most important KPIs that we measure are like all the engagement metrics, retention metrics, monetization metrics. We are checking the user behavior, if the new features are are used in a proper way, if the people see new features. We use also data analysis for the control. So, for example, if we are designing an economy and we are planning to make the player advance to the 10th level in 7 days' time, we can look at the data and see why the players are advancing, or, for example, in 3 days' time, or why they are advancing in 20 days' time. If we know why they are doing it, we can do small adjustments, small tweaks to make the game to work as the designer wanted. We also use it for the fraud detection. Sometimes it happens that there are some loopholes or there are some bugs in the game that people can take advantage of. With the proper data management and proper data reading, you can easily spot it out. This is also the chart that's showing basically what basically analytics can do with the data. We can see what happened. We can diagnose it. Why did it happen? We can use it for the prediction. So think about what will happen if we do something like that. And prescriptive. So what should I do? This is the most important thing because this is what the game designers base on. They sometimes don't want to know why something happened. They want to know what should they do with the data that we have. And the more to the bottom we go, the more creative work is involved, the more work is involved. So basically, we're also aiming to automate some decisions that normally would be very hard to take on a regular basis. That's where we use machine learning systems, and we use it for some predictive analysis. For example, we have some models that are predicting if the player will drop out of the game before they drop. So before they still are playing, so we can acutely act to do something with them. I don't know, maybe give some promotion to them, or maybe give some gifts to the players. I will show later how we did it and what was the overall result. We use machine learning for custom offers. This is also a very important thing because there are some offers like for the live ops that are designed by the game designers, and they are like perfectly built for this type of event this particular day. But if you want to sell more offers on a regular basis, it's very hard to find the player's needs. And doing it manually would be very hard, but would be possible. What would be impossible would be to basically manage it in the long term, where the game changes, where the new items are coming. It's very hard to keep the model and to think what should we serve to that player. And that's where the machine learning system is working. We have a system that is predicting what is the best offer for particular one player. We use it also for a better targeting for user acquisition. Marketing is also based on a lot of events when we are targeting some players, not only the payment events. So the more events we have, in-game events, or the better targeting is. So we also use machine learning. For example, we are predicting if the player will be a payer in the future, but we want to predict it in the first day, not wait till 7th day until he becomes this payer, because it gives us, we send this event that this player will be a payer to our to our marketing partners, and we say to them, we want the players like that. Just, you know, and other machines from Google, from Facebook are working how to supply those similar players. Sorry. Okay, I don't. Coś się ten. Oh, okay. So this is one of the examples when we are running a A/B test for a prediction tool. On the red line, you can see that those are the players who are about to drop, and the other players were also about to drop, but we acted before they actually drop. I believe in that in that particular test. Sorry. In that particular test, we gave out some free gifts to those players, and we could see that after 5 weeks' time, we had 3 percentage points more players that stayed in the game. If you multiply it by 100,000 of players, there's a lot of players that stayed in the game because we acted quicker. So a lot of those things we have to A/B test, because the greatest ideas might be only greatest on the paper. And if we don't test it somehow against the control, we don't know what the effect is. Sometimes people say, okay, we can change something, and then after the time, we'll compare the data. But those things happen in different time, and it's easy. It's very hard to compare it. And sometimes we can get to the very bad conclusions, because you, for example, change something during the Christmas period, which is always like a better period for some KPIs, and you think, oh, our change was good. But if you would do it, wouldn't do it, maybe you would be better. So that's why we need A/B testing, and A/B testing also helps us in quick solutions finding. So sometimes sometimes you are taking a decision too long. So why bother? We just do a quick A/B test, and after a day we have a result. We don't waste time on discussions, and sometimes the solutions that we find are very not intuitive. So this is something that is also important. Faster iterations, improved intuition. So all the A/B tests help us improve the intuition. This is, for example, a test of landing page for Let's Fish. We didn't know which of those graphics is better, which one brings more people that register later. Maybe you can think about which one, in your opinion, is the best one. Anyone want to guess, or? Free. Number 2 is variant 1, variant 2, variant 2. Yeah, it was variant 2. Yeah, but a lot of people said it was like variant 1, variant 3, maybe a control. Yes. And this, for example, this screen brings us 8% more registrations. So it's a lot. You know, when you have over the time millions of users that are going there, you have 3 users just by using different landing page. This is, for example, one of the A/B tests that we were running on the first-time user experience in Fishing Clash. We are trying to do some different pacing of the game. We are locking some of the features. We were hiding some of the features, and we could see that we improved by 4% and maybe 1 percentage point the retention rates. It's a good test, because it shows us that the small things, the game is there, the small things you change in the game, you don't change the things, you just hide some things, and you have more players the next day, and the next day, and the next day. This is one of the machine learning strategies that are targeting the custom offers, and we can see that we have around 200% lift on custom targeted by machine offers against randomly given. So this is very huge, because we have twice as much income from the offers, just because the machine learning model is choosing what to show next to the players. So for example, this is an example. Yes, this person was targeted with a very expensive offer, probably because machine learned model shows that this person is buying at those price points, and probably his specification, his metrics in the game are similar to somebody else who also bought this offer. That's why it was given to him. So right now we ran the test on more than 20 million users, around 300 tests, and every day there are there's some tests going there. We have 100% success rate with Asterix. It means that even if you have a test where you don't see the differences between the groups, yeah, it also helps. It also tells you something, yes, that maybe you are not concentrating on the good hypothesis. It helps you improve the intuition, and basically all the tests, even if they don't show big differences, for us are a lesson learned. So basically, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Okay.
Hi. First, thank you for your presentation. It was awesome. I had a question about which tool are you using for predictive analysis? Is there like specific tools for that?
No. It's our own tool, basically.
So you it's made it like in-house in your company?
Yes, it's made in-house, and all the tools that are, those tools are made in our house. And the predictive analysis, the models are, I don't know which program language they are done, like probably Python and some libraries. But we are using in this particular thing, and for the custom offers, we are using this tool called Whiskey. And this is our tool. This is our tool.
Oh, great, yes. Thank you very much.
I wanted to ask the same question, but another one is how do you approach the feedback? Because sometimes the player doesn't really know what they want. You get a lot of feedback, not very useful, and how do you act on it?
No, I understand. Basically, it's of course all the players would like everything for free. They would like to, I don't know. Everybody would like something else, and we as a game designers, we are creating the rules. We are deciding what to do next. But we have to acknowledge the majority of the feedback. Yes, even if it's bad. For example, last year we released 2 power-ups. This is a good example. How the know-how is important. One of our best-selling items in Let's Fish was a sonar, and we decided to do it in Fishing Clash. And basically, it was a hit, yeah, because we are selling a lot of sonars right now in Fishing Clash. It was this know-how helped us create a great project. But we also released during that time other power-up that the players didn't like, and there was like a big storm in the internet, in the clan chats, in the Facebook, and that was the time that we decided to remove it, yeah, because it was really the balancing game. We were a little bit too quick to release that, and the players saw it. Yes, they saw it, but we had to manage the situations like that.
Okay, and another question, because you made quite a big hand that might not be popular with the fishing rod, I think. And how do you manage the community when you implement some hinges that you know that they will be good for the game because you see the KPI, but they are not liked?
It's also more a question to the designers, but I feel part of a designer here. So basically, the data speaks. Yes, of course, some of the decisions that we take can have an effect in the future. It's not like the KPIs didn't drop, and why bother? It will pay off in the future, of course. That the players will drop there. So you have to handle it with your experience, basically. There is no general rule, yes. Sometimes you have to stick to your own plans because you know what's the best for the game and for the players also in the long run. Sometimes you have to make some change your decisions, yes. But usually it comes with the experience, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
And especially also a lot of things that we feel that might be game changing for the players' experience, we are A/B testing that. sometimes on the smaller seed, not on the whole community. We want to test it out to hear the feedback, for example, from the top engaged players, because also those are the players that matters the most, not only the top players, but the most engaged players. And if for them it's okay, this, and there is some anonymous person in the internet that say it's bad, of course, we have to wait the opinions, yes, in this case.
Anyone else? So, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Just one last thing. We are doing small workshops in Wrocław on July, and if anybody would be interested more into technical things, because right now I just skimmed over like the simplest examples of what we do. But if we want to talk a little bit more technically, there's a lot of topics about A/B test measuring, which is really hard to find on the internet, and we basically developed our own tools, our own techniques to measure how to properly evaluate A/B tests. And I will be happy to share with that information with interested people there. There will be probably more people that can talk about more about the tools that we do, about models we make. So if anybody would be interested, just feel free to sign up there, and hopefully we'll see you in Wrocław in July.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And applause.